excited about tomorrow.
Seriously, opening day, obviously, always a big event. What's this one like? With knowing that the banner, the Bruins are here. I mean, it just seems like there's a whole lot, no pun intended, swirling around.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's excited about that. Like first game of the season, and obviously at home as well. So that's always like it gives you a little extra motivation for that. And obviously there's a big thing that we accomplished last year, banner raising, and for a lot of guys for sure it's the first time. So it's going to be exciting, and obviously gotta enjoy that. But at the same time, I think as a group here in this locker room, we're just can't wait to get going. Like can't wait to start a new season and start playing again.
Between the banner raising tomorrow, the ring ceremony tonight, does that feel like your guys are able to have the formal closing of last year? Now, here we go. Finally, it's time the title defense and everything's on. To finally have like a formal, official way to close out last season.
I think yes. I think that would be like last thing that we do, and it's a good thing as well. Like obviously, they deserve to celebrate the big accomplishment for whole summer until now, and tomorrow finally we get to play again and we get to fight for it again.
How fun a start is this for you guys? I mean, you have Boston twice, you have Ottawa, you have Buffalo, so many division games right off the bat.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We had a really good camp. We had really hard camp again, and we're ready to go. So we know who we're playing against, and we're excited. So can't wait to get started tomorrow.
Patty Giles has made it all the way to the end of camp with you guys, young guys. As a fellow center, what are you seeing from him in this camp?
Oh, he's great. He can do it all. Like he plays both ends. He takes big face-offs. His big body. He can protect the puck really well, and he knows how to play in the middle. So that's really good. And seeing him grow throughout the whole camp is impressive. So really happy for him, and great guy too.
There was so much talk last year about how business-like an approach you guys took to training camp. Can you compare what this was like, having accomplished the goal that you set out to do last year?
I would say similar approach to this, but at the same time, like we know that this approach will bring us to somewhere, and that in that case, like we do it on the ice and no one's complaining. So we know it's going to be hard. We knew it's going to be a hard camp, and we knew we just got to do it again, and we knew we got to grind it out and just go as hard as possible and get ready for the season, and now we're ready.
You are a seasoned Florida resident at this point. I mean, how is it kind of preparing for a season opener with all this hurricane talk going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's never a good thing with the hurricanes coming in, and especially like second one in a short period of time. So hope that everyone stays safe here, and it's can't really joke around with that. Like it's a serious thing, so you have to be prepared as good as possible for it. And obviously, luckily, we get to go on the road right away. But everyone who lives and decides to stay here, I hope they stay safe.
Thank you.
A lot of fun for sure. Finally, the season's starting again, and it doesn't matter really like who we go up against. We got to do our thing, and it's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
You've gotten to see this rivalry from the other side. I mean, over the past few years now, I mean, how has it kind of developed?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a battle every game I've been in for sure, and it's got to be good be on this side now for sure, and it's got to be a lot of fun for sure.
And we talked about it before, but that was during the preseason. What's going to be like to play the first regular season game with your brother?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like preseason and regular season is different, and but yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy. I feel like, and we're super proud to be here, and super pumped as well for sure. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Patrick Giles, one of the young guys, has made it all the way to the end of camp here. You play with him a bit on that line. What do you see from him as a guy that's trying to make that jump?
No, I mean, like, a lot of fun to watch for sure. Like, working hard every day, putting in work, and scored a lot of goals too in preseason. So, but the things that stands out, I feel like, is just how hard he works and wants to be here, right? So, it's been fun to watch, and drags me with him.
Jesper, so many guys talk about coming to Florida how easy it is to kind of fit in and find your place. What has stood out to you early on about just the culture that kind of exists in this dressing room and the way guys really do get along with one another?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it before. Like you kind of saw it from the outside before too, like how close everyone are, and trainers, equipment guys, everyone, and that's how I've been feeling so far too. Everyone is super nice and welcoming. So it's been awesome so far, and I bet it just will be better too.
You've gotten a chance to play in all different parts of the lineup. I mean, how does it feel? The team kind of values your versatility there.
Yeah, I mean, I just try to do the best I can, whatever they put me, right? So it's been working okay so far, I guess, and wherever they want me and with who, it doesn't matter for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kyle's still here with the guy. Just what has he done to make it this far, and how much has he kind of got on your radar throughout this camp?
Yeah, I think Patty Giles is the surprise of camp for me. In a 2-year progression, I think when he originally came in, we would say that maybe his career limiting factor was his foot speed, and now it's his strength. He's just made incredible improvements in his speed, and at that size, then really hard-working young man, there's something there that you think you can develop and use. Patty won't be a player here that watches games because he doesn't have to. He's a very, very good camp. The last decisions will be difficult in some ways, but as we all have the confines of a salary cap and of waiverable players, a lot of that then just becomes the logistically smart thing for the team to do.
And another guy that's no longer out there with Sandis Bowman. Just how excited are you now for the future with him from what he showed you here in this camp?
Yeah, you know, when we look at him almost in the same ways that we looked at Mackie Samoskevich. At Mackie last year, there was a lot of things in the game that you would believe will fit in an NHL game. And he's going to go down and learn the pro intensity, the ability to stay in the entire shift involved and shift after shift. So we think he's a really strong skater, got a good shot. There's some creativity to his game and a willingness to play hard. It's just about experience playing hard shift after shift. The American Hockey League is a really strong league and a great. You look at the difference then between Mackie when he left us to his call-up, and he was markedly different in a number of the ways he approached the game.
The coaches sort of build that with Mackie, like you said. You guys know what you were able to see a lot of him last year between being on the opening right roster and then when he was with Black Aces. What has he shown you this past week now that he was healthy again, that be able to see him back on track as you guys get ready for everything to start up?
You see the major physical change in a player that has a full summer of training. So the last 2 seasons, Mackie's been here during the playoffs with our strength people for 2 straight months, and then goes home and gets the rest of his time. And he's just much stronger, much more powerful. His stride is... his skating is a strength now for him, his upper body. I mean, he's just changed. Young men can do so much in 5 months with their bodies, and he has. He's worked really hard. His test numbers are much stronger. But you could see, you could see last year he's got NHL hands. He's got an incredible set of hands, and he can shoot the puck where he wants to. He's gifted in that department. But the physical improvement will be the reason that we think he can step in and play this year.
And then with ring ceremony night banner dropping tomorrow right before the game, just to have a physical final closure of last season as you guys, with the season on the horizon, just to be able to have the physical closure of last season as you guys try to get ready for the title defense.
Get to a point where there's no more celebrations of something that has happened in the past, and you need that mental closure to move forward. So it's an unfortunate with the safety concerns and the weather, but seemingly for us, rain on a celebration is kind of what we do here. So it's fitting, I guess. But I'm glad that I'm thankful, I'm thankful that they were able to get the rings done, that we can enjoy it tonight and then leave them at home tomorrow. Mr. Chantelier.
They were raising hands again.
Yes, Pluto, but yes.
Are we raising hands now? Are we ignoring people that don't?
They're all getting.
I'll bypass anybody that doesn't raise their hand. George, can I help you?
Special teams question for you.
Yeah.
With all the diamond work on the PK now. Do you think more teams will be going to spread versus 1-3-1, 1-4?
Yeah, I think that's the natural progression. I think it, and I do not have the history of this, but that idea of the three across, the low three offensively, I think you started to see it back in Montreal with Saku Koivu. It was the first time. It used to be two defensemen up at the blue line. You'd have a guy on the half wall and basically two guys at the net. There was no slot presence, and then Montreal came in and was really, really good at it. And then what you saw happen is these elite shooters came into the league on that flank. So the Ovechkins, Stamkos, we were in Winnipeg, we had Patty Laine, those guys come in. And there's lots of them. Not like necessarily those two, but there's every team would have a guy with an incredible shot. And then really Colorado, there were some teams running the defensive diamond, that idea, but there was a lot of top-down pressure on the PK. You saw it from Edmonton against us. That's almost an older school, and it ended up being very effective with what Edmonton was doing in the playoffs against us. But the idea that Colorado would push Kucherov up instead of push him down, and then everybody kind of went to that. And then if you're running the diamond idea, you've got one defenseman at the net basically. That's it. And if you're running an aggressive diamond, you got nobody at the front of the net sometimes. So that will be where everybody goes. I think it's fairly easy to go from a diamond defense to collapse to handle that box. The spread, I would call it the box, whatever. You're probably more right than I am. But I think you can make the adjustment fairly quickly in game to handle that. But you're just going to see teams do both at the same time. They're going to go from the 1-3-1 setup to the shoot up setup to the box, and they'll go back and forth.
Paul, you mentioned a minute ago. Oh, sorry, is that me or
throwing elbows or what's going on? I think Emily had her hand up and you slapped it down. I think is what I saw over there.
Yeah,
it's physical.
Emily, come in next. You mentioned a minute ago that you're sort of ready to turn the page and move on to the new season. But like on a personal note, you coached a bunch of games in this league before you finally won the league, right? And is it important for you to have that night tomorrow, or are you like really ready to just move on with the new season? And
I'm looking forward to tonight. I am.
Not only tonight, but tomorrow night with the banner night.
Well, the original idea with the ring ceremony I thought was brilliant. Have it in front of your fans. That's where you could share it. So we won't have that night, and understandably so. So that makes the banner raising more important then, because there should be a sharing that happens between the players and the fans. So we get that. It will be special, and you'll remember what it feels like, because I have an experience to stand behind the bench and have all the right banners go up. You're not missing a banner. You're not short one. So that's going to be great. But I'm looking forward to the hockey. I mean, it's great that it's Boston, because we've played this team 21 times in the last 2 years, and they've been 21 amazing games. Like in terms of intensity and physicality, I think the series last year was as heavy a series I've ever coached. It was as hard, physically demanding a series as we played in the entire playoffs. So it's fitting that they're in this respect. It's the right way. We played so hard to get there. It should be Boston here, because they're the team that probably played us as hard as anybody. So it's a fitting start.
And just a quick follow-up. All the locals seem to be more calm about the hurricane coming in than us visiting from out of town. Like, we're genuinely nervous.
Yes.
The locals I see are very calm about it. Which side are you on?
Well, I'll tell you the story. You know exactly how I feel. We're living in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we get this incredible snowstorm. And there's I think us, Montreal, and Arizona, or in Phoenix at the time, were snowed in. The guy across the street from me, he's got a wife who's 8 months pregnant. He's from Florida, and in a complete panic of how he's going to get his wife to the hospital. I said, don't worry, just ask my wife, she'll drive it, right? So you're coming from Canada, 2 feet of snow is nothing, right? We can get through that. For the first hurricane that I sat through, I was in a full panic, right? We're jamming the kids into a closet in the middle of the house with mattresses, like just a full panic. So whatever you grew up with, you get used to. I'm not used to it. You know, those trees start bending, you're looking out the window. It's almost the noise more than anything else of the wind that shakes me up, because I'm not used to that either. But yeah, well, I was in LA. Got off an elevator and the hotel started moving, and there was an earthquake, and like you're going, And all of a sudden now you're walking down, you're walking fast, and you're blown by all these people from California. That's nothing. So that's not a big one. How do you know that, right? You're in whatever you're not used to scares the hell out of you.
You spent a lot of time last year talking about how business this team was.
Yeah.
How would you compare sort of the approach this year, given the knowledge of that you can do it, that you have?
Right. So last year I didn't pick up on it. I just didn't think they were as funny. It took me a long time to figure out last year's team was all business, was more serious, because they weren't laughing at my jokes, and I just thought, well, I'm not as funny. I don't think I'm that funny, but some of that stuff was funny. But they were more serious. These guys, I was looking for some tells early. How hard would they test? Not their numbers. But Barkov doesn't have to go flat out on those tests. He's still making the team. And they all did. So for me, that was the first great anecdotal side. Then the numbers came back and we're fitter than we were last year at this time. And in the first 4 days this year, we exceeded last year, which was better than the year before. They were able to wind themselves up to do it. In some of the quiet time, like in a bunch of the veteran guys didn't play for about a week. They just did their business, right? They did it, but it was quieter, I would say. And then when they were supposed to be good, like our last exhibition game was not physical at all with LA, but they did their jobs, right? Their sticks were right, the skating was right. I think there's a little more experience now. They haven't looked for a place to take it easy, but they have confidence in when they need. I have confidence in their ability to know we need to go hard here. This is drill. So the skate at the end of the day, they go hard in. It's no fun, but they're doing it because they know it's important. And then when we've had a lighter day, they're a little bit more relaxed with that, and they can have a lighter day. I think they're a little bit more experienced. We still, though, are not starting where we finished. We're right at the right, and that's not me trying to take the pressure off the team. You have to go through the adversity. You need it. And I think we're going to have a bunch. We got like 14 sets of back-to-back games. I think only Buffalo plays more tired games than we do this year, and we're going to Finland, and there's a lot of, and there's more to this now. We got moving parts here. So we're going to have some grinders, but I don't think they're afraid of it. They're not afraid of the adversity is coming. I don't think they feel particularly special, which was what I was watching for. I think they've got enough humility in them. All right. Oh, George, Mr. Chantaler.
How are you?
How am I?
Quick question. Are you expecting to have 3 goalies with you come tomorrow, or is this just in case after 2 o'clock this could be a different thing?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that yet. Most or all of that question will be cap related, injury based, what happens in the next 3 or 4 hours. So I don't know the answer to that. I'm not afraid of it.
I mean, if you were going to have 3 goalies, you'd know.
We're only going to play one, hopefully.
At a time.
That's the plan.
Right.
Yeah. It'll sort itself out here in the next 3 or 4 hours.
Okay. You talked a little bit about, you talked a lot about the penalty, the power play. You've got 2 new guys up top. We've seen a lot of what Adam Boqvist has done.
Right.
What about Uvis? He seems to,
Well, that's
the last
his
couple weeks,
right.
number 2.
That's the job he used to do before he got to the National Hockey League, so he's got some experience up there. We also have Nate Schmidt, who's done that job. So we kind of tried to alternate them in exhibition games just to take a look at them. But then the one game, we got 1 power play, I think, of the last 3 minutes of the game. There are no power plays, the one we were running Uvis, so we went back and ran Uvis again. But he's done that job. We feel if we can spread our penalty kill minutes a little differently this year, we may be able to run 1 unit a bit longer. So we were fairly close to a minute, a little over a minute. We get them off the ice. If they had really strong zone time, we'd leave them a little bit longer. But we didn't leave 1 unit too long on the ice. We think that unit with Boqvist on the top right now, if they're having success, and stay. And I think I can cut back Barkov, Reinhardt off the kill.
And as far as it goes, what a difference a year makes for him, right? This time last year,
yeah,
he's talking about NHL debuts, and now he's been here all year, and you guys know him as well
I
as you
just
ever have.
love how hard he plays. Like, he battles, he takes hits, he gives hits, but he will do anything he can to complete a play, and that's what I think his greatness is, that we think his strength is his compete. And he came out of our lineup last year, and he didn't deserve it. And that was true of Josh Mahura at the time, too. Those two guys, right in the 2 or 3 days, and they know these guys are coming back, played incredibly well for us and didn't deserve to come out. And then he gets into the situation, he hasn't played a lot of pro hockey over here. We're not letting him sit as the 7th guy. He's got to go down to the American League and he's got to play games. But he was, in our mind, an NHL defenseman last year. Now it's a different look for him because he'll have a different partner and there's higher expectations for him. But I believe he can play regularly in the NHL.
And you expect to rotate a couple, that third pairing?
Yeah, I think what we do is I just won't leave it too long. I don't have a structured, I've never liked that, saying I'm going to rotate you in and out. I think there's a value of that if you have 2 young guys. You can, even if it's kind of like you don't have to start your starting goalie if he gets a shutout the next game. You don't have to. Even if a guy plays well, he can come out of the lineup. I just don't like it with more veteran players. But the message will be at some point, I'm not leaving everybody in unless it's really successful for us, and clearly then they're playing well. But even if you're winning, that's not the deciding factor. We'll watch their individual play, and we won't wait too long. All right, everybody, stay dry.